Welcome to Mythic Mundi. High above the sprawling city of Athens, a flat-topped rock pierces the sky. This is the Acropolis. For thousands of years, it has been a fortress, a home, a sacred center, and a symbol of civilization itself. But long before the first stone of its most famous monument was laid, this rock was the stage for a divine contest, a choice that would define the fate of a city forever. Before the city was called Athens, it was a prize coveted by the gods. Two of the most powerful Olympians laid claim to this beautiful land in the region of Attica. Poseidon, lord of the seas, and Athena, the goddess of wisdom and warfare. The rivalry was intense. To settle the dispute without conflict, the other gods declared a contest. Each of the two deities would present a gift to the people of the city. The citizens, led by their mythical first king, Cecrops, would decide which gift was superior. The winner would become the city's divine protector, and the city would bear their name. The gods and mortals gathered on the Acropolis. Poseidon, confident and powerful, was first. He raised his mighty trident and struck the limestone rock. From the earth, a spring of water burst forth. The people marveled, but when they tasted it, they found it was salt water. Like the sea god himself, the gift was powerful, but wild and untamed. Some legends say he offered the horse, an anima of war and travel. Then it was Athena's turn. Her gift was quieter. She knelt and planted something in the soil. Instantly, it grew into a tree, an olive tree. She explained its virtues. Its fruit could be eaten, its oil could be used for fuel, for light, for cooking, and to soothe the skin. Its wood could be used for building. It was a symbol of peace, civilization, and prosperity. The choice was clear. King Cecrops and the people recognized the profound value of Athena's offering. It was a gift that would sustain them. They chose wisdom over raw power. And so the city became Athens, and the olive tree became its sacred symbol, forever protected on the slopes of the Acropolis. The rivalry between the two gods would echo through myths for centuries. But the city had its patron. This myth is not just a story. It is the foundational identity of Athens. It explains their values, a preference for wisdom, craft, and democratic choice over brute force. And it was in honor of this divine patron, Athena Parthenos, Athena the Virgin, that the city would eventually build its greatest tribute. A testament to her wisdom and to their own ambition. They would call it the Parthenon. The Parthenon we know was not the first temple to Athena on the Acropolis. An earlier temple, the older Parthenon, was still under construction when, in 480 BC, the Persian army invaded Athens. The city was evacuated, and the invaders destroyed the Acropolis, leaving the temples in ruins. For 30 years, the ruins remained as a solemn reminder of the conflict. But Athens emerged victorious from the Persian wars. It became the leader of the Delian League, a confederation of Greek city-states. With this new power came immense wealth. It was the dawn of the golden age of Athens, led by the visionary statesman Pericles. Pericles had a bold ambition. He wanted to rebuild the Acropolis, not just as it was, but as an undeniable symbol of Athenian glory and cultural supremacy. It would be a project for the ages. The centerpiece of this grand project was the new temple for Athena, the Parthenon. Construction began in 447 BC. This was a project of incredible speed and skill. Pericles entrusted the work to the finest minds of his time. The architects were Ictinos and Callicrates, but the artistic supervisor, the man responsible for the temple's unrivaled sculptural decoration, was the master sculptor Phidias. The Parthenon is often called the perfect example of Doric architecture, but it is in fact a brilliant fusion. On the outside, it has the massive strong columns of the Doric order, but inside, a continuous sculpted frieze ran around the wall, a feature typical of the more delicate Ionic order. This building was designed to be experienced, to be seen, and the architects used extraordinary genius to ensure it appeared perfect to the human eye. They understood optical illusions. They knew that a long, straight line like the temple floor would appear to sag in the middle, so they built the entire platform with a slight, gentle upward curve. They knew that columns at the corners, seen against the bright sky, would look thinner than the others, so they made the four corner columns slightly wider. And the columns themselves are not straight. They have a subtle bulge, a principle called entasis, giving them a sense of tension and life, as if they are bearing the weight of the roof. And they all lean slightly inward. If you extended the lines of the columns, they would meet over a mile up in the sky. This wasn't just construction, it was architectural poetry. Every measurement, every angle was precisely calculated to create a feeling of harmony and vitality. And then there was the sculpture. The exterior was adorned with art that told the stories of Athens. The triangular pediments showed the birth of Athena and the contest with Poseidon. The panels, or metopes, depicted mythic battles, the Greeks against the centaurs, the gods against the giants, all symbolizing the triumph of order, reason, and civilization over chaos and barbarism. But the greatest marvel was inside. In the main chamber, the cellar, stood the reason for the temple's existence, the Athena Parthenos. A colossal statue, nearly 40 feet, 12 meters tall, sculpted by Phidias himself. It was a chryselephantine statue, made not of marble, but of a wooden core covered in hammered gold for her armor and robes, and ivory for her skin. In her hand, she held a statue of Nike, the goddess of victory. This was not just a statue, it was the city's treasury, a symbol of its wealth and the physical presence of the goddess herself, watching over her people. In 438 BC, after less than a decade of work, the temple was dedicated. For nearly 1,000 years, the Parthenon served as the sacred temple of Athena. It was the center of Athenian life, a wonder of the ancient world, and a testament to a civilization that defined the very foundations of Western thought, democracy, and art.
Empires rise and fall. Religions change. The Parthenon, a monument built for one goddess, would be forced to adapt to survive. After antiquity, as the Roman Empire adopted Christianity, the Parthenon was converted into a church. The great statue of Athena Parthenos, its gold and ivory a tempting prize, was likely moved to Constantinople, where it was eventually lost to history. The temple itself was purified. Its pagan sculptures were sometimes defaced, and its internal layout was altered. It became the Church of the Theotokos, the Mother of God. For another 1,000 years, it served a new faith. In the 15th century, the Ottoman Empire conquered Greece. The Parthenon was converted again, this time into a mosque. A minaret was added, but the structure itself remained largely intact. It had weathered earthquakes, wars, and religious transformations. It had survived. But its darkest day arrived in 1687. The Venetians were at war with the Ottomans, laying siege to Athens. The Ottoman defenders, believing the Acropolis was impenetrable, used the Parthenon, the strongest building, as a gunpowder magazine. It was a catastrophic miscalculation. On September 26th, a Venetian mortar shell fired from a nearby hill arced through the sky. It struck the roof of the Parthenon. The resulting explosion was immense. It ignited the gunpowder, and the temple was ripped apart from the inside. The blast destroyed the roof, the central walls, and many of the columns. The building that had stood for over 2,000 years was reduced to a magnificent, hollow ruin. In the centuries that followed, the ruins were exposed to the elements. In the early 19th century, Thomas Bruce, the Earl of Elgin and British ambassador to the Ottoman Empire, removed many of the surviving sculptures, including large sections of the frieze and figures from the pediments. He did so with permission from the Ottoman authorities at the time, stating his goal was to preserve them from further destruction. These sculptures were transported to London and are now on display in the British Museum. This removal and the sculpture's continued presence in London remains one of the most debated cultural issues in the world. Greece considers the sculptures an essential, stolen part of its national heritage and has campaigned for their permanent return. The British Museum argues they are part of a shared world heritage, protected and accessible to a global audience. We at Mythic Mundi do not take a position, but we recognize the deep passion and historical complexity of the debate. Today, the Parthenon stands as a symbol of many things. It is a ruin, but it is not a failure. It is a symbol of the golden age of Athens, of democracy, philosophy, and art. It is a testament to architectural genius and the human desire for perfection. It is a physical scar, reminding us of the destructive costs of conflict. And it is a powerful icon of modern Greek identity. The contest between Athena and Poseidon set the stage. The Parthenon was the performance. It remains, even in its broken state, perhaps the most influential building ever constructed. It teaches us that what humans create in honor of their highest ideals, wisdom, art, and civilization, can echo long after the gods themselves have fallen silent. What story should we explore next? What myth or monument do you want Mythic Mundi to journey to? Tell us in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey, please help our channel grow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching Mythic Mundi.